Mirabai was once an amazing saint and devotee of Sri Krishna. Despite going through criticism and hostility from her very own family, she lived an exemplary saintly existence and composed many devotional bhajans. Historical records about the lifestyles of Mirabai is to be counted of some scholarly debate. The oldest biographical account was once Priyadasa's commentary in Navadasa's Sri Bhaktamal in 1712. Nevertheless, there are many oral histories, which supply an perception into this special poet and saint of India. Early life. Mirabai Meera used to be born round the begin of the 16th century in the Chowkari village in Meerut, Rajasthan. Her father used to be Ratan Singh, a descendant of Rao Rathore, the founder of Jodhpur. When Mirabai used to be solely 3 years old, a wandering sadhu got here to her family's domestic and gave a doll of Sri Krishna to her father. Her father took this as an exceptional blessing, however used to be originally unwilling to provide it to his daughter, due to the fact she felt she would no longer admire it. However, Meera had, at first sight, come to be deeply enamored with this depiction of Lord Krishna. She refused to consume till the doll of Sri Krishna used to be given to her. To Meera, this determine of Sri Krishna embodied his dwelling presence. She resolved to make Krishna her lifelong friend, lover, and husband. Throughout her turbulent life, she in no way wavered from her youthful commitment. On one occasion, when Meera used to be nonetheless young, she noticed a wedding ceremony procession going down the street. Turning to her mother, she asked in innocence, "Who will be my husband?" Her mom replied, one half in jest, one half in seriousness, "You already have your husband, Sri Krishna." Meera's mom used to be supportive of her daughter's blossoming spiritual tendencies, however she exceeded away when she used to be young. At an early age, Meera's father organized for her to be married to Prince Bhoj Raj, who was once the eldest son of Rana Sangha of Chittor. They had been an influential Hindu household and the marriage considerably improved Meera's social position. However, Meera used to be now not enamored of the luxuries of the palace. She served her husband dutifully, however in the nighttime she would spend her time in devotion and singing to her like Sri Krishna. While singing devotional bhajans, she would often lose focus of the world, coming into states of ecstasy and trance. Go to that impenetrable realm that loss of life himself trembles to appear upon. There performs the fountain of love with swans carrying on its waters. 1. Go to that impenetrable realm. Conflict with family. Her new household did now not approve of her piety and devotion to Krishna. To make matters worse, Meera refused to worship their household deity Durga. She stated she had already dedicated herself to Sri Krishna. Her household grew to be increasingly more disapproving of her actions. However, the repute and saintly popularity of Mirabai unfold at some point of the region. Often she would spend time discussing religious problems with sadhus, and human beings would be a part of in the singing of her bhajans. However, this simply made her household even extra jealous. Meera's sister-in-law, Udabai, commenced to unfold false gossip and defamatory remarks about Mirabai. She stated Meera used to be interesting guys in her room. Her husband, believing these testimonies to be true, tore into her room with sword in hand. However, he noticed Meera solely taking part in with a doll. No man used to be there at all. Throughout these hysterical slanders, Mirabai remained unmoved by means of each the criticism and reward of the world. This infamy, "Oh my prince is delicious." Some revile me, others applaud. I clearly observe my incomprehensible road, a razor skinny path that you meet. Some properly people, a horrible route, however you hear a proper word turn back. Because the wretched stare and see nothing? O Mira's lord is noble and dark, and slanderers rake solely themselves over the coals too. Mirabai and Akbar Mira's reputation unfold a ways and wide, and her devotional bhajans have been sung throughout northern India. In one account, it is stated that the repute and spirituality of Mirabai reached the ears of the Mughal Emperor Akbar. Akbar used to be incredibly powerful, however he was once additionally very fascinated in one-of-a-kind non-secular paths. The hassle was once that he and Mirabai's household had been the worst enemies. To go to Mirabai would reason troubles for each him and Mirabai. But Akbar was once decided to see Mirabai, the princess, saint. Disguised in the garments of beggars, he traveled with Tansen to go to Mirabai. Akbar used to be so enamored of her soulful tune and devotional singing that he positioned at her featuring a helpful necklace earlier than leaving. However, in the path of time, Akbar's Gota got here to the ears of her husband Bhoj Raj. He used to be livid that a Muslim and his personal arch-enemy had set eyes upon his wife. He ordered Mirabai to commit suicide by drowning in a river. Mirabai meant to honor her husband's command, however as she used to be coming into the river, Sri Krishna seemed to her and commanded her to depart for Vrindaban, the place she should worship him in peace. So with a few followers, Mirabai left for Vrindaban, the place she spent her time in devotion to Sri Krishna. After a whilst her husband grew to be repentant, feeling that his spouse was once genuinely an actual saint. Thus he travelled to Vrindaban and requested her to return. Mirabai agreed, a whole lot to the displeasure of the relaxation of her family. However, quickly after Mira's husband died, fighting in battles with the Mughal emperors. This made the scenario even worse for Mirabai. Her father-in-law, Rana Sangha, noticed her husband's demise as a way to get rid of Mirabai. He commanded her to commit sati. When the spouse commits suicide with the aid of throwing herself on her husband's funeral pyre. However, Mirabai, with the direct internal assurance of her cherished Sri Krishna, stated that she would now not do this. Her actual husband, Sri Krishna, had now not died. She would later say in her poetry, Sati na hosien girdhar ganzian mara man moho gananami, I will now not commit sati. I will sing the songs of Girdhar Krishna, and will now not grow to be sati due to the fact my coronary heart is enamored of Hari. 3. After this experience, her household endured to torture her. They confined her actions and sought to make her lifestyles as uncomfortable as possible. In the face of all these trials and tribulations, she remained indifferent from her bodily suffering. There was once nothing that should disturb her internal connection to Giridhara, an epithet of Sri Krishna as younger cowherd boy. It is stated that twice her household tried to kill her, as soon as through a venomous snake and as soon as via toxic drink. On each occasion, it is stated Mirabai, included by using the grace of Sri Krishna, got here to no sick harm. Mirabai in Vrindavan, however, the relentless torments and hostility interfered with her existence of devotion and contemplation on Krishna. She sought the recommendation of realized guides and saints. They counseled her to go away the palace and return to Vrindavan. Secretly, with some followers, she slipped out of the palace and escaped to the holy town of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, Mirabai was once free to worship Giridhara to her heart's content. She would spend her time in singing bhajans and in ecstatic communion with Krishna. Like a authentic bhakti, she worshipped God wholeheartedly. The riches of the world supplied no enchantment to Mirabai. Her solely delight got here from her single-minded devotion to Sri Krishna. Her soul used to be ever craving for Krishna. She viewed herself to be a gopi of Vrindavan, mad solely with pure love for Krishna. I am mad with love and no one is aware my plight. Only the wounded understand the agonies of the wounded. When the fireplace rages in the heart, only the jeweler is aware of the cost of the jewel, not the ones who lets it go. In ache I wander from door to door, but may want to no longer discover a doctor. Says Meera, hearken, my master, Myra's ache will subside when Shyam comes as the doctor. For I am mad. Her devotion and religious magnetism had been infectious. She stimulated many to observe the root of Vaishnavism. As Swami Sivananda stated, Meera wafted the heady scent of devotion a long way and wide. Those who got here in contact with her had been affected through her sturdy present day of Prem. Meera was once like Lord Gauranga. She used to be an embodiment of love and innocence. Her coronary heart used to be the temple of devotion. Her face was once the lotus flower of Prem. There used to be kindness in her look, love in her talk, pleasure in her discourses, electricity in her speech and fervor in her songs. 5. Even realized sadhus would come to her for inspiration. There is a story of one revered spiritual master who refused to communicate to Mirabai due to the fact she used to be a woman. Mirabai spoke. Fact there used to be solely one actual man in Vrindaban, Sri Krishna. All and sundry else was once a gopi of Krishna. On listening to this, the religious master widespread the knowledge of Mirabai and agreed to speak to her. Later, Mirabai would end up his student. Poems of Mirabai. Much of what we be aware of about Mirabai comes from her poetry. Her poetry expresses the longing and searching of her soul for union with Sri Krishna. At times, she expresses the ache of separation and at different instances the ecstasy of divine union. Her devotional poems had been designed to be sung as bhajans, and many are nonetheless sung today. Myra's songs infuse faith, courage, devotion, and love of God in the minds of the readers. They encourage the aspirants to take to the direction of devotion, and they produce in them an astonishing thrill and a melting of the heart. Swami Sivananda. 6. Mirabai was once a devotee of the very best order. She was once immune to the criticism and struggling of the world. She used to be born a princess, however forsook the pleasures of a palace for begging on the streets of Vrindaban. She lived throughout a time of fighting and non-secular decline, however her lifestyles provided a shining instance of the purest devotion. Many had been stimulated through her infectious devotion and spontaneous love for Sri Krishna. Mirabai confirmed how a seeker may want to obtain union with God solely through love. Her solely message used to be that Krishna used to be her all. My beloved dwells in my heart. I have sincerely considered that abode of joy. Myra's Lord is Hari, the indestructible. My Lord, I have taken refuge with thee, thy slave. 7. That dark dweller, it is stated in her dying she melted into the coronary heart of Krishna. Tradition relates how one day she was once singing in a temple. When Sri Krishna regarded in his delicate form, Sri Krishna was once so thrilled with his dearest devotee that he opened up his coronary heart center, and Mirabai entered, leaving her physique whilst in the easiest nation of Krishna consciousness. 8. Mirabai. Sri Chinmoy says of Mirabai. Mirabai was once a devotee of the higher, absolute best order. Among the saints of India, she is without a doubt unparalleled. She composed many bhajans, which are prayerful songs to God. Each tune Mirabai wrote expressed her inspiration, aspiration and sleepless self-giving.